Here's a psychology fact you're not ready for. You aren't behind because you're slower than everyone else. You're behind because you are subconsciously sabotaging your success to protect your ego from the possibility of failure. Most people don't realize this, but your brain has been lying to you, telling you that tomorrow is a real strategy. It's not. It's a death sentence for your potential. Psychologists call this chronic procrastination via ego shielding. We see our peers getting the promotions, hitting the gym, and building the lives we want, and we tell ourselves they got lucky or had a head start. But once you understand the mechanics of the mind, you'll see why you act the way you do. Your stagnation isn't a lack of resources. It's a psychological pattern that has become your comfort zone. And if you don't break it now, the gap between you and the person you could have been will only get wider until it's unbridgeable. But here's where it gets even worse. Most people think the solution is just working harder. They stop there, and that's the biggest mistake you can make. Hard work on a broken foundation is just a faster way to burn out. Chapter 1. The Perfectionism Prison. Reason 1. You're addicted to the idea of a perfect start. Psychology shows that perfectionism is actually just a high-end form of fear. You don't do the work because if you don't try, you can't fail. You'd rather stay at 0 and be a genius who didn't try than be at level 1 and be a beginner who struggled. Your brain chooses the safety of potential over the messiness of reality. Chapter 2. The Social Comparison Loop. Reason 2. You are suffering from upward social comparison. You are constantly measuring your internal behind-the-scenes footage against everyone else's highlight reel. When you see someone else winning, your brain triggers the same pain centers as a physical blow. To stop the pain, you retreat. You stop competing. You tell yourself, it's too late for me anyway, just so you can stop feeling the sting of being outpaced. Chapter 3. The Dopamine Trap. Reason 3. You are winning in your head, so you don't feel the need to win in real life. This is called identity signaling. When you tell people your big goals, your brain releases dopamine as if you've already achieved them. You get the win without the work. This is why you're behind. You're already satisfied by the fantasy. Chapter 4. The Fear of Success. Reason 4. You are actually afraid of what happens if you catch up. Success brings new responsibilities, higher expectations, and the fear that you won't be able to keep it up. Psychologists call this the upper limit problem. You subconsciously pull the emergency brake every time things start going well, because staying behind feels safer than staying on top. Chapter 5. Learned helplessness. Reason 5. You've convinced yourself that the game is rigged. This is the ultimate truth bomb. Your brain would rather believe you are a victim of the system or bad luck than admit you've been lazy or undisciplined. Believing you have no control is a psychological sedative. It lets you sleep at night while your life passes you by. But here's the part nobody wants to admit. And this next part explains exactly why your life hasn't changed yet, despite knowing all of this. Psychology says people don't ignore you because they're busy. They ignore you because you haven't given them a reason to value you. You're behind because you've made yourself invisible by waiting for permission to lead. Here's the painful part. Your brain will choose the comfort of being a nobody over the growth of being a somebody every single time, unless you force it to change through sheer uncomfortable friction. If that struck a nerve, good. It means you're waking up. Here's the reality you've been avoiding. No one is coming to save you, and no one is going to hand you the lead. If you want to break this cycle, you have to kill the version of you that is comfortable being almost successful. Start with the 10-minute rule. Your brain can't comprehend a 5-year plan, but it can handle 10 minutes of focused, painful effort. Here's the mental trick that actually works. Stop identifying with your potential and start identifying with your output. You aren't what you could do. You are what you did today. Catching up isn't about a quantum leap. It's about refusing to let your brain lie to you for one more second. You aren't behind because you're incapable. You're behind because you're comfortable. The gap only closes when you start moving. Type "done" in the comments if you're finished with your own excuses. It's time to commit. Subscribe to keep your ego in check and watch this video next to master your discipline. The clock is ticking. Go.